All right, we're live. I'm a little pissed off. My stupid bullshit doesn't work. So I've got this mic, right? This is mic camera combo. Perhaps some of you know it. It's called Marantz Turret. Forgot to put my headphones on. Hold on. I want to be able to hear myself. Here, should I play? All right. Thing is, yes, it's a mic and camera in one, which is kind of cool. But that's why I can't like flip the camera around to show you what's happening. But what I can tell you is that am I loud enough? Am I a little more? There. Oh, that's just for me. That's just for my headphones. Okay. But yeah. So the fucking thing, it's a tower with a camera, got a ring light around it, and this boom mic. It's pretty cool. But now the boom mic ain't fucking turning. Like, I can make it go back this way, but I can't. I can barely adjust it this way, and I can't get it to turn around the other way. And I was trying to do that so that I wouldn't have this weird angle anymore. Where if I'm looking at my screen, I'm over here, and I'm looking away from my you beautiful people. If I look over here, I don't see what I'm fucking doing on my screen. So I made space, and I was going to put my camera light mic thing up on the upper part of my desk so that I could look more straight at you with your beautiful face. And I couldn't do it because I can't fucking bend this fucking mic thing around. I can rearrange my desk and move my fucking CPU to the other side and do all this shit. But like, okay, yeah, I could do that. But what if it worked? What about if this fucking did what it was supposed to goddamn do? Wouldn't that be cool? But anyway, I guess we'll make it work for today. It is here. It is in front of me. I do have another mic if we need it, if I need to really change shit up. It is harder than usual to get up and do small things because my fucking ankle is still broken. I'll try to show you. I have a new cast. It's neon green. Check it out. There we go. Neon green, baby. So we're having fun with it. We're having a little fun with it, Gotta try. I got my staples out. That was fucked. I won't get too graphic, but that was hilarious. Not really. I mean, I don't know. It was funny how like how gross it was. I guess like. I don't know. For some reason, I got the impression that it was like some modern high tech way that they do this kind of surgery now, where I needed, again, try not to be too graphic, needed some screws in my bones. Put them back in. But I figured, and just the way they described it too, is like, oh, these two incisions, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, so is it like fucking laser guided, or you just kind of go like doing a small cut here, small cut there, and then fucking like, nope, it is not that. It is that's both sides of my leg. All right. And I had fucking staples, not a few staples either, like all the way down. It was crazy, man. Not a pleasant feeling having those taken out, but as I told my my doctor, because she was apologetic and everything, and I was like, you know what? Nothing since actually breaking my ankle has been as bad as actually breaking the ankle. So it's not it's not the worst. We'll live with it. We're gonna make it work. Yeah. So I got 2 weeks in this cast, and then it's going to be probably a boot, that I can actually kind of walk in sometimes. Um, so that's good. And then hopefully a couple weeks after that, you know, I think it's just a couple of weeks. Maybe I'll be wearing that for longer, but then I'll be doing some physical therapy, get the fucking leg working again, which is going to be good because I have severely atrophied. um, I mean, you know, I'm not an athletic guy to begin with, ugh, but you know, I'm uh, just sitting around all day, basically, um, working remotely, just hanging out, waiting for this shit to heal. Um, and uh, God, what was I fucking saying? And I don't know if it's ADHD or long COVID or both or what, but um, yeah, oh yeah, so with fibromyalgia, I have a chronic pain condition called fibromyalgia, which um, you know, makes it extremely hard to be active, to be someone who can, you know, exercise regularly. You know, I could and I should. I just haven't figured out what works for me because, you know, uh, things will work really well for stuff like this for a while, and then kind of stop, and then you have to like reevaluate, and it's fucked. I've been in a really bad place with my fibro for over a year, I think. It's got to be, yeah. It's I think it's over a year. And you know, it's that's how long a flare up can be. You know, and there's like mini flare ups in between, or you know, during that time. But yeah, so it's been really bad, and my arms especially had already been atrophying. Like I got nothing. I got no upper body strength, which is not good because, you know, when you need to like use crutches or you need to like uh, lift yourself up without using both legs. Um, you know, that's one thing that I will not use crutches on stairs. I will not do it because like, bro, I fucking broke my ankle walking down normal stairs the way I always do. Um, so I'm not fucking around with it. Uh, so yeah, I'm just like scooting on my ass up and down stairs, uh, because I don't want to, you know, lose my balance with the crutches and fall down the fucking stairs. So uh, what I have to do is scoot on my ass. So then I'm like in a sitting position. Then I've got to get myself up. Now, for some reason, going down the steps, that's not so bad with the crutches. I, you know, just kind of pull up on the crutches. For some reason, going upstairs, it's a lot more difficult. Maybe it's just because I've already, when I've gone back up my stairs, it's because I went down the stairs to leave the building. Um, so I'm already tired. I don't know. But I really fucking had a hard time before I went to check my mail, which is literally like, it's one flight of stairs. It's, I don't know, 8 steps, 10 steps. And then the mailboxes are right there. And so I went and did it and came back up and I just could not pull myself up. It was fucking insane. So I just kind of knee walked my way in back into my apartment. Threw my keys on the floor and just like, you know, just sort of scrambled onto the couch. And from there, I could, you know, lift myself again. But like, goddamn, dude. You know, I consider myself to have a disability with the chronic pain. and some other stuff, but like having like a major physical disability, like a loss of a limb, loss of use of a limb, I should say. Like this has really made me think about that and how insane it is. Like again, I'm scooting on my ass. Like this building doesn't have handicap accessibility. Um, so it fucking sucks. And I'm just thinking about how people maneuver around the world who have stuff like this, especially that's permanent. Um, yeah, it's fucking crazy. Uh, like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What happened to the ADA? What happened to the Americans with Disabilities Act? I thought this was America. Uh, there was a bug on my wall. All right. It's supposed to keep my leg elevated, but then all the fucking blood rushes out of it. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Sucks ass. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Enough about my leg. What's going on in the world, folks? What do we got? What have we got? Sometimes I like to just read like the Microsoft news. You ever do that where you just open up some of these links that they fucking now why is this? There we go. Where like on the homepage, they give you all this like stupid news. Um, but yeah, I saw this. 12 states are banning the sale of gas-powered cars, and for like right off the bat, I'm like, I don't fucking believe that. But let's read it and see because, um, I'm interested in how the U.S. government and state governments are, you know, pretending they might um, try to fight climate change. What is this, like a hot judge? What the fuck is it? Okay. Um, 12 states are banning. Okay. Um, Imagine a world where gas stations are replaced by charging stations. Wow. 12 U.S. states are hurtling towards by phasing out the sale of new gas. Okay. So are they banning it? California pioneered it by encouraging residents to buy electric. Again, is this a ban? A domino effect has begun following California's lead. I'm sorry, I'm in pain today, guys. Following California's lead, with 11 states lining up to follow suit. Is that the whole fucking thing? And they just have pictures of cars? Like, what the fuck goddamn bullshit is this? This is why... This is so stupid. Let's Google this. Or Bing it. I guess I'm binging on this fucking thing. States banning gas cars. CNET? Is that a legit thing? ABC News. Motor and wheels. That's fucking awesome. I'm going to give them some clicks here. All right. Yeah. Be completely banned by the year 2035. This is another, like, okay. I'm going to ABC News because these are all, like, fucking little baby articles. Just, okay. Following California's footsteps, to issue a phase out of gas powered vehicles, and other states are planning to follow in its footsteps. After the California Air Resources Board approved Thursday regulations that, what a weird sentence. I sometimes I just hate how news articles are written. This is just like a quirk too. after the California Air Resources Board approved Thursday regulations. Like, oh, cool. You got some new Thursday regulations? It's always got to come after a Wednesday. It's always got to come before a Friday. Thank you to Congresswoman Rebecca Black for helping us with this. Um, the ban. Okay, sorry. Speaking of ADHD, do not have my meds. Don't know where they are because I lost them because I have ADHD. Um, so I'm having a hard time today. But here we go. Okay. The regulations ban the sale of new gas engine vehicles by 2035. Okay. So that's that is pretty accurate then. Because I saw it, I was like, fuck, no, it's not. It's just like this is how Republicans react to shit, right? But yeah, it's important to note that it's like it's banning the sale of new gas engine vehicles, right? So you could probably get a used one. If you have one already, they're not going to take it from you. You know what I mean? So that's where ban is like a little bit misleading. Um, so, and I think that's probably the right way to do it too. You know, as much as electric cars like don't really solve the problem, they have their own problems. But sure, you know, it is lower emissions, and if we can more ethically, you know, same as with everything else, if we can move toward a more ethical way of producing it, that would be a lot better. But yeah, if the goal is fewer emissions, well, that's good. And for for a governor to do, and Gavin Newsom's a Democratic Party governor, he's pretty fucking right wing, even for the Democrats. Um, but yeah, for an American politician to do something like this, that's going to, frankly, uh, uh, put oil companies in a tough position, right? Oil and gas companies, like, yeah, I can't imagine like Shell and Exxon are like super happy about this. um, but that just means like they might have to change over to doing some other shit, uh, like, I don't know. I don't know what the big like horse-drawn carriage companies were, but like, uh, I'm sure there were companies that made carriages, um, and saw the writing on the wall, and you know, this wasn't an emissions thing. It was the opposite actually, because we created emissions. But but yeah, it's like when it becomes unviable to focus your business at least solely on a technology that's being phased out and becoming obsolete. You got to move on. You got to move on to the next thing. And I'm sure that, again, there were horse-drawn carriage companies that went under because they didn't, start building kind of car parts, car frames, whatever. And there were probably companies that did really well because they made the switch at the right time. Um, you know, Same goes for like I don't know. It does just seem, and the car companies seem to get this, that like you got to go where the wind blows a little bit. We're making electric cars, right? um, yeah, I think about like Nintendo, because Nintendo is actually a super old company. I want to get the year right, but it is literally it was founded in the late 1800s. I'm not fucking kidding. All right, Nintendo. Um, let's find the wiki. Wiki. Where the fuck? Oh, everything's bad now. This is worse than Google. Jesus. Wikipedia. Yeah, so it's from 1889. Okay. um, Jesus. Look at that. Original Nintendo headquarters in 1889. That's hilarious, dude. I can't get closer. Marufuku Nintendo Card Company. I guess it's someone's name. Um, um, but yeah, they made like trading cards and little, games and little toys and stuff. Uh, but I don't know when, but like here, Nintendo distributed its first console, the Color TV game. What? In 1977. Okay, so they saw where it was going. You started to get stuff in the 70s like Pong. Um, I don't know if Atari and like ColecoVision might have been more 80s. I don't know, but whatever it is, they saw Pong, they saw arcades, they saw some of this stuff starting to happen. Even like pinball machines, I feel like were kind of precursors to video games. Obviously, they're not, but like they, it's closer to what you do on like a an arcade box, cabinet, whatever you call it. But yeah, so they started making video games, and I'd say that worked out. I love their names of shit. The Color TV game. I've never heard of this. Uh, that's funny. And then the Nintendo Entertainment System. Great. Right on. Um, let's keep going. Uh, 17 other states have already followed California's lead and adopted the tailpipe emission standards, which are stricter than the federal government's. And this is how a lot of stuff changes in the US. It's like, you know, it's kind of it's good and bad that like states can do these things on their own. And eventually you get to a point where, like with marijuana, I think Biden rescheduled it or they're going to or something. Um, but you get to that point because states start to decide, all right, we're spending too much in the way of police resources, prison resources, to chase down fucking marijuana users. So they'll decriminalize to say you're allowed to, like, if you have a little bit, it's not, we'll kind of look the other way. If you have a little more than that, maybe it's a small fine. And then the sales started, the dispensaries started to come into existence because states started to allow that. And then it comes around to the federal government. And this goes for slavery, segregation, gay marriage. I don't know, ton of shit. But uh, yeah, so that is like, I guess you could say a positive from it. But it is also a way in which it I don't know if it slows progress, but it's uneven progress, and that creates a lot of disparities across the U.S. So it's like, why is it that you know you can be in Texas and you go to jail for having an abortion, then you can come here to Massachusetts, to sunny Massachusetts, um, and there's nothing like that. There's, you know, um, very few, like, if any, restrictions on abortion. There's few, like, medical restrictions besides cost, although our our insurance system is actually better than than other states. It's the best one. I've lived in a handful of states, and I have never had an easier time than here. It's not perfect. It's not like good really, but it's it's better. Um, Thanks to uh, Marxist Leninist Mitt Romney, Mitford Romnicus. Um, we had like an Obamacare style system here. I didn't live here at the time, but they had it here years ago. Um, uh, because Mitt Romney was governor. Not because Mitt Romney, but, like, you know what I mean. When Mitt Romney was governor, he signed it into law. Um, Massachusetts is weird in that it'll fairly often have Republican governors, but the uh, state house and state senate will often be Democrat, and they're, maybe a small but noticeable uh, amount like further to the left um, than other states. So you have Republican governors, but they end up just having to kind of like, what are they going to do? Veto everything? Like, fuck off, man. It's probably veto proof, honestly. But yeah, that's why, I like it here, and I'll probably be here for the long haul because it is one of the better states in the U.S. Like, I don't, it might be, it's expensive. I'll say that, but like in terms of medical care, and like, you know, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just stick it with medical care. It's one of the best. You know, we have um, a shitload of hospitals and doctors. Like, it's got to be like up there for that alone. And then, with the better insurance system, um, you know, it's not a bad place to be. So I don't know. So what other states? This is 17 states. Okay. Yeah, there we are. Eh. Okay. Minnesota. Uh, yeah. Cool. Well, anyway. Oh yeah, it wanted me to log in here. Fuck. Does it remember my thing? Did I just show my password? I totally did. Hold up. Um, so just the same shape. Okay. Oh, fuck off. God, I hate this. Okay. Yeah, we're going to look at some TikToks that I've been digging lately. Um, Okay, so we're radicalize me, and haha, password you saw was wrong. Serves you right. All right. Let's see. Oh, that's me. Look at that. We're streaming on fucking TikTok too. Uh, okay, so that's what that was. It just wanted me to log into stream, and then let's also go to TikTok. All right. Yo, I really like this person. GF Speaks. No, don't try. Don't try it. Go away. They have good videos. Here, let's see what she's saying.
Saying we can fucking do better.
You're literally insane if you think the revolution is gonna happen in our lifetime.
Yes! You're right! I'm fucking batshit crazy. I am literally looking in the face of all of the capitalist bred atrocities that are happening across the world and saying we can fucking do better. Like, do you guys understand how many times Harriet Tubman got told that she was crazy? Do you understand how many times people told MLK that he was crazy? Do you know how many times Fred Hampton got told he was crazy? A fucking lot. And did they stop? No. In fact, y'all are putting the battery in my back to be even more insane, to radicalize even more of you bitches to get to this asylum that I'm in, baby. Because if there is a reality in which we have a worker-run economy, we are not going to get there with the mindset of, oh, well, you know, the government has so much power and so many guns, it will never be able to come together. Shut the fuck up, bro.
It's true. I mean, yeah, it's not an advocacy to do anything crazy, but it's like, yeah, it's a long process, man, and it's like, it's easy as like very very human, finite beings who have short lives relatively, to look back and be like, Marx wrote this shit so long ago, and then all these places tried to do revolutions, and look where we are. And it's like, okay, how long do you think it took capitalism to like become its not only its current form, but just like a dominant form? Like hundreds of years. And that was with capitalism, is comes out of almost the like so it's the bourgeoisie was an emerging class, and they overthrew a lot of the monarchies. But so you have like basically an aristocratic revolution where these are people who were already had or were at least adjacent to power. So like that took a long time. It took a long time to overturn that power structure. And now we're talking about the proletariat, who have no power. We have nothing but our numbers, right? And nothing to lose but our chains. But seriously, it's like, it's something that, people started to see. They started to see was true when Marx wrote about it, that the working class, he defined the working class as as its own entity, and explained how, there is immense power in that class by the individuals within it working together, collaborating. So people started to do that, because if you go from like, I think the Communist Manifesto was like 1848. Is that right? Am I insane? But whatever it is, it's yeah, 1848. I'm smart. I know things. Um, uh, okay, so you right, so you're like dead center of the 19th century, and then for the next the second half of the 19th century, you start to see massive um, uh, labor fights, right? Like, I mean, guys, look at the Battle of Blair Mountain. Like, they don't. I don't think people understand. Like, fuckers went to war with their bosses, literally war, and had the Pinkertons, which was more on the private side, and like National Guardsmen sent against them, and won, and fucking won. You know. So today, when people are like, "I don't think we need a union," or like, nah, it's not for us. It's a you fucking ungrateful, like, I little twerp. Like I don't, I know, I shouldn't be mean to people who, we need to win, but, uh, yeah, it's like people say all this shit about that. Oh, the troops. What about the troops? Thank you for your service. The troops protect your freedom, and that's you should, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Don't burn the flag because there's troops. Um, and it's like, okay, that's all bullshit. First of all, but like, even if it wasn't, like, what about this? We never talk about this. We we love to talk about the military and how the troops fucking protect our freedom, protect the freedom. They hate us for our freedoms. Um, I'm doing all these old ass references today. Anyone, anyone here, 35 or older? But yeah, the troops, because the troops protect, we're told, our freedoms, but in reality, corporate interests. And you could say, oh, World War II and the Hitler. That's what you sound like. But no, I'm sorry. It's all bullshit. Here's something I want you guys to read. In addition to the Communist Manifesto, which is, decent. Communist Manifesto is decent, and it's absolutely worth reading. It's also like not the most exciting. It's not not the most interesting of Marx's work. But anyway, beyond Marx, I want you to read this. War is a Racket by Smedley Butler. War is a Racket is a speech and a 1935 short book by Smedley D. Butler, a retired United States Marine Corps Major General and two-time Medal of Honor recipient. Based on his career military experience, Butler discusses how business interests commercially benefit from warfare. In the book, Butler alleged imperialist motivations for U.S. foreign policy and wars. And now I want you to think about the year this was written. Oh, it was in there, yeah. 1935, which is before, say it with me, World War II. And it was before the Cold War. It was before the, Gulf War and Second Iraq War. Like, this is always how it is. Go look back at what, and he talks about it, I think, in the book. But go look back at what the U.S. was doing in the Philippines and Cuba and Puerto Rico in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Um, yeah. Yeah, I should read that on stream maybe. Um, yeah. Okay. Work's divided into 5 chapters. War is a racket. Who makes the profits? Who pays the bills? How to smash this racket? And to hell with war. All right. And again, this is a retired United States Marine Corps Major General, 2-time Medal of Honor recipient. Okay. Like, oh, here, yeah, yeah. In War is a Racket, Butler points a variety of examples, mostly from World War One, where industrialists whose operations were subsidized by public funding were able to generate substantial profits, making money from mass human suffering. And now, this, I want you to understand, is how capitalism works. Okay? Industrialists are subsidized by public funding and able to generate substantial profits. And this is the bonus. Usually, it's the source of it is mass human suffering. This is such a dynamic and simple truth, a fundamental reality of modern warfare that he distills so well, and even this Wikipedia article distills so well into this paragraph. This is the problem. And this is, I mean, think again, is written in 1935. I imagine this was, you know, maybe 20th century communist revolutionaries were inspired by this, because you combine this with the work of Marx and Lenin and so on. Now you have like the anti-colonial aspect of oh my god, my brain's not working, guys. I think I think I have fucking long COVID. I do. I think my brain is fucking fried. But yeah, no, because the anti-colonial aspect of like 20th century socialist revolutions is so important, because again, what Marx predicted, and you have to like be able to look at, okay, what did the early writers of this ideology get wrong? What did we learn, like 50, 75, 100 years later, and how incorporating all of that created newer and more successful communist or socialist revolutions. And the really interesting thing about this, I think it's really interesting, is that subsidy. Marx was writing about this in the mid 19th century, and the way that he was viewing the trends, the perspective he was coming from in the time period he was at, was that he believed the socialist movements, which were huge. There were huge socialist movements in Europe. That's why he wrote "A Spectre is Haunting Europe," the specter of communism. That's why he wrote that, because it was such a powerful movement, and he thought, okay, where this is going is that the workers in developed capitalist nations like Germany, where he was, France, Italy, whatever, are going to come together and realize, like, there's so much, production and prosperity happening here, and we're the ones creating it, so we are going to take over the means of production from the capitalists. This did not happen. In fact, it kind of failed multiple times. There was the Paris Commune. Now, you might say that was also doomed to fail, as an anarchist project, but I didn't say that. um, no, it's, but like, that was a huge thing. Marx was super inspired by that. Um, didn't didn't really go anywhere though. It was crushed pretty quickly. There was an attempt at a socialist revolution in Germany. There was a huge socialist movement in Italy, uh, and all of this. So none of that worked. What did start to happen is that in uh, agrarian, backwaters is what they used to call them, or backward places, or something. I don't know if that's like cool to say now. I don't know, but like agrarian, uh, underdeveloped, often feudalist or semi-feudalist nations. That's who started to do socialist revolutions, which is it's really wild if you think about it. It's like, wouldn't the people in the more developed area have more ability to? And it's like, I don't know. I'm not even sure how you explain the dichotomy, how you explain the discrepancy, but like that's what happened. What was the first big successful socialist revolution? Well, and people are going to say, oh, it never worked. It's a stupid argument, and like, you know, we're also not talking about like, oh, did the country last? How good was the country? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Just we're talking about the revolution itself was successful in Russia. Um, Russia, uh, because not because, but what happened is that you had a feudalist monarchy have a socialist revolution. It's crazy. Like they barely even had a capitalist period, and that's why they had what Lenin called the state capitalist period. They needed to build up production, but wanted to do it without having privatized monopolistic powers. And so then you have China, you have North Korea, or Korea, I should say. It wasn't North Korea yet. It was the Korean Revolution. There's Vietnam. Uh, there's well, a little later Burkina Faso, but like there are a bunch of African countries that had socialist revolutions, a bunch of South American countries that had socialist revolutions. Um, Famously Cuba. There was also Grenada. There's that, which is that those are Caribbean, I guess. But like, um, you know, I think most countries in South America. I don't know enough, and I'm blanking now. But like, I think most countries in South America did. They at least elected left-leaning people. Allende was pretty far left. There was it Arbenz? I think it was Arbenz in Guatemala, who was overthrown by the CIA. Um, like the Nicaragua. Um, yeah, there was so much of this. India, Mongolia, Afghanistan. Like, it's crazy. And all of these places were colonized, agrarian, semi feudal societies. So that's really interesting to me that during the development of modern socialism, 1935, you're little over a decade into the Soviet Union proper. It's 1917 created the Russian Socialist, whatever, I forget the name of it, but 1924, I think, is when the Soviet Union was officially formed. You're a little over a decade in. You have this book written, War is a Racket. So, with all of that in mind, the people of these tiny, forgotten, just, sources of extracted wealth for the most powerful countries and empires in the world rose up. And that's what, uh, this sort of imperialism perspective and the anti-colonial perspective, anti-imperial, anti-colonial, I should say, became such an important part of socialism. I don't know if people even realize that. I think when they say, people will hear socialism and think that it just means like, oh, the state should spend money on all these things. And it's like, well, yeah, but we should remake the state um, in the image of the working class. We should, uh, remake the state as a non-imperialist entity. You know, say what you will about Soviet Union and China, uh, but you know they were not invading places left and right like the U.S. It just didn't happen, um, especially throughout the um, Khrushchev era and beyond, which is really when the Cold War uh, kicks off. Because in World War II, you can argue, well, they went to fucking Poland and Czechoslovakia or whatever, or Hungary or whatever. And it's like, yeah, well, I mean, first they were fighting Nazis, but like, okay, if you want to quibble about this shit, fine. But like, after World War II, all America did was invade places. The Soviet Union didn't do it. China didn't do it. Um. So, but never mind that. This is such an important part of modern socialism, and that's why there was a robust socialist movement in Palestine. The PFLP, I believe. There's a couple of socialist parties, but yeah, Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. It's a secular Palestinian Marxist, Leninist, and revolutionary socialist organization founded in 1967 by George Habash. It's consistently been the second largest of the groups forming the Palestine Liberation Organization, the largest being Fatah. And Fatah is apparently very conciliatory to Israel. So that, sucks. But yeah. But that's what you got. You got a socialist movement emerging out of the occupation. Because when was this founded? Oh, 1967. Interesting. Because 1967 is when the I guess it was the second round of partitioning that was supposed to happen, and they created kind of the apartheid laws that they have now, which was different from like the total martial law or like total like military rule that they sort of had over Palestine before that. I think is what happened. But then, yeah, 1967, and the apartheid rules, and these borders were drawn for Palestine, but Israel illegally occupied them. They were never made an official full state. So. Oh, man. Yeah, so, we did roughly an hour here. I'm honestly kind of fading, guys. I'm sorry for anyone who's watching, but yeah, I'm tired, and in pain, and I've got, you know, my brain's not working. So I think I'm going to call it for today, but I appreciate everyone being here. I'm going to try to start getting on earlier. You know, everything's just taking me longer than usual now. Um, but yeah, we'll figure it out. We did the past 2 Sundays. I'm gonna just try to keep doing Sunday. Um, you know, 2 to 4, hopefully, starting point. Um, but again, thank you for watching. You can find me on YouTube. It's at Radicalize Me. That's where the best shit is going to be. You can find me on TikTok. I think it is at radicalize_me. All right, so there you go. Have a little bit of EV news and some anti-colonial, anti-imperialist, Marxist